morning, my friends. This is Maerlande. So another episode for Blame Lyran. This is turn 42, and I might get to a few more turns. I apologize that turn 41 is missing. I made a mistake in the archive. So we'll go over the messages. The key thing this episode is we're going to have a good look at this battle for the throne in Erysia. So I'll put a timestamp marking that down. Let's just go over the messages. You can see Xibalba sent some gold and research. So we're going up to Conjuration 7 next. An augury did not succeed. Got a few blood hunters. We're just kind of getting started. And from the battle, there was a reincarnation. We can have a look later about that. Reincarnation is not a very, how do we put this? It's not a very significant thing related to the monkey nations. It's just the two white monkeys can reincarnate. So it happens once in a while. But I don't put a lot of time into figuring out the details. You can look it up on the wiki if you want. Events, some unrest at home. Alright, we should get some patrols going. Oh, we got a lab here. Oh, that's a hoot. Where's that? Oh, right here. Well, that's not a lab that's going to have a huge effect on things, but still kind of fun. And let's see, some gold and a dusk dagger. Okay, little bits of tidbits. So let's just pop out, look over the map for a bit. So you can see I won here, and we'll go into some details on how and why that worked. Down on the lower map, everything's looking good. Ah, excellent. So Utgard has relinquished this throne to Xibalba. Now, have we claimed the throne? Let's have a look at thrones. We still have 3, so that one's not claimed yet. We're going to need a disciple or a pretender down there. It'll come. Beyond that, everything's looking pretty calm. Pretty calm. Borders are still quiet. As you can see, this is predominantly slaves. Soulless and slaves, so that's patrol. And I think we can move on to have a look at the battle. Yeah, I'm ready for the battle. So I'll have a quick look at the overview first, just briefly. So we won, and we could talk about the overview in some more detail. I'm also going to take a moment to have a bit of a look at the formation. Now, sadly, since I lost turn 41, that's not showing up here. But it was a sandwich formation. We'll see that when we go in. So you can see I've got pretty much all the Magi in a line down through this middle zone. And some bodyguards on most of them. Now, there's a few troops aren't set up right now. Some of the commanders did run away. And I've got various things. So, let's watch. Let's watch the fight. So, we'll set up the colored squares. Do we want the grid? Yeah, I think we want the grid. So, if you have a look here, you'll see a few units got pushed out of the blatant formation. But I've got multiple lines of Naga warriors in the front. Ha! A single vine man. Just kind of a little bit of a tidbit. And the Magi are happily in a nice sandwich. And then behind them are all the archers. With a couple... that's a Nagaraja. Okay, so they're tucked into the back because they're pretty tough. You can see I've got my Nagarishis in their human form. Similarly over here, a Yogi and a Nagarishi with various gems set up. So I've got some air gems here. Got some nature gems here. So we'll see those start to play. Now the reason for the sandwich is I'm dealing with the Anunnaki of the sky. So this pretender god, throne defender, very high air, has a tendency to cast living air a lot. So a lot of medium-sized air elementals which trample. And then it has the Springhawks, which immediately attack whatever they can. So let's get started. Okay, we've got a few shots going. Alright, there goes up the basics. So we can see Communion Slaves, Communion Master, Communion Master, Communion Master. So let's take a look at the Communion. So we've got 13 slaves. So I said extra slaves because we didn't make 16, so we're at the +3 boost for 8 slaves. But if a few slaves get killed, I'm not going to lose too much. Okay, let's let it progress. Alright, there comes the Springhawks and the single Griffin. So we've got good ways to deal with the Springhawks. They are ethereal with no significant protection. We have some magic weapons. A little bit, mainly the stun. And there's other magic weapons coming up, plus evocations will be coming up. So we got some wooden warriors. Strength of Gaia went up. So that'll be this lady. Nope, would have been one of the others. Ah, she's preparing, right? Preparing. Alright, let's have a look here. Okay, Strength of Gaia is up, so all the slaves are regenerating. Well, they should have been regenerating. That doesn't seem quite right. Isn't she a master? She's a master. I wonder if Strength of Gaia doesn't propagate. That would be an oddity, one that I didn't know. So you can see the Anunnaki put up Fog Warriors. And what else has it cast? Fog Warriors, it's going for Arrow Fend, so that's going to reduce the effectiveness of my archers. Now, did I send a Fire Mage? I do not believe I did. I did not send a Fire Mage. Guess I decided I would go ahead of needing a Fire Mage. It would have been useful to have magic arrows. Okay, there goes Howl on my part. Light of the Northern Star on my part. What have we got here? Large beetle. Well, that's funny. What the heck? Phantasmal army. I'm not really sure where the... Oh, I guess the beetle... this guy back here. Okay, this guy back here must have cast Swarm. Right? He did. He cast Swarm. Isn't that funny? Fatigues himself completely out of the fight. He's more or less a done deal now. But the Anunnaki can keep casting and casting and casting. Fatigue of 68, so it's getting up there. Alright. I'm expecting, we'll see. We've got some Stellar Cascades. Hey, that's kind of fun. So you can see we got the Nagas in the front. They're doing their spits. They're doing their hypnotizes. Getting some fatigue. Looks like that one didn't really do a heck of a lot. There is a Stellar Cascades. It's a good mix of kind of everything. There's wolves running around, messing up formations. Okay. Alright, it's going for Wind Guide now. Ooh, that's interesting. I've got a few Thunder Strikes. So you can see this edge over here is starting to fall a little bit. I'm just not really killing the Springhawks as fast as would be useful. The Enkidu are not holding up well. Look at their fatigue. Way the heck up there. Oh my, here comes Gifts from Heaven. Ah, that should be entertaining. Well, I didn't see the Gifts from Heaven. Is it coming? There it is. Oh, that was a good shot. That was a great shot. Some Enslaved Mind. Ah, entertaining. So these guys are round 11. They're well off script. Oh. Okay, one of the batches of Bandar archers is running away. And it looks like this yogi, yeah, he's taking a bit of a beating. And there we go. There's the air elementals, the smallish ones. Let's have a look again. I just want to confirm. Yes, living clouds. So that's the smaller ones. Okay, the Ankido are starting to run. The deer tribe are starting to run. Falling Frost, Body Ethereal, Rage of the Cornered Rat. We got, these guys have gone berserk. That's funny. Well, that's off script. Wow, more air elementals. How many wolves we got? We got a few wolves in the back. Alright, with the Enkidu running, are these guys running? It does not look like it. No, the Enkidu archers are just shooting wolves. Oh, okay. The Phantasmals are fighting wolves. The Deer Tribe archers have run out of shots. Blade Wind, Strength the Giants. So mostly things worked. There's a few things I could have done differently. Definitely. Would have been very nice to have Arrowfend. Would have been very nice to have Fog Warriors. So... oh, we do have Fog Warriors up. Not Fog Warriors, Arrowfend. I don't remember casting Arrowfend. I must have had the Kanara cast Arrowfend. Let's see, Body of Theory, Thunderstrike. Well, it's hard to say. Do we have... yes, we have Air Shield on everything. Charge Body, that's from the Bless. Ah, some more gifts. More meteors blasting down. Should have a look here at the slaves. Let's see how the communion slaves are holding up. This guy's a slave? He is a slave. So fatigue of 190. He's got personal regeneration. Oh, he's already dead. He's very much dead. So I overdid a few of the slaves. And that should be it. Yeah, the Anunnaki ran away. So we're done. Okay, so let's have a bit of a review of the numbers. So lost 2 goobers. Probably they got flanked over on that top side of the map. I lost a good chunk of Bandar archers. And actually a fairly costly amount of Naga warriors. Now, I will confess, there are more cost-efficient ways to take out this type of throne. You can use high levels of shock resist. Now, if you look, I did not have a significant amount of shock resist available. I had some Thunder Wards, or some Thunder Ward. And I had Wind Guide and some other things. And Arrowfend should be here. No, I didn't have Arrowfend. Well, I'm not really sure what that was. I guess we could do more analysis of it at another time. But overall, that's pretty solid. So it was pricier than it maybe needed to be. But the point was, we're sitting in peace. I felt that I needed to take it. It had been sitting around my capital all this time. And I wasn't terribly confident on there's methods where you can take it with thugs, and those would have been worthwhile. On other topics, I think, that's kind of the sum total of everything. We'll collect the armies back together, we'll reorganize things, get a fort up here, get a lab, see, building a lab, got a fort going. I should have a fort going, maybe not yet, but we'll get to it. And so we'll get this place, and which throne is it? Throne of War, water. So that's nice. Hydromancer. I don't particularly need Hydromancer, but the defense skill sure doesn't hurt. So I believe I am satisfied with turn 42. Alright, let's move on to 43. There's lots of time. Here's turn 43. So we're again being fed significant amounts of loot from Xibalba. It's very useful to get a brazen vessel. I cannot easily make those. Augury was successful. Oh my gosh, the Citadel. That's nice. Where did that show up? Over here. So, pyromancers. Sweet. Sweet. And it came with the lab. So we'll get to that. Let's go back to the messages. Ah, this guy found a magic site there. So, of all the searches I had possible, I found one magic site. Plus the throne. We haven't claimed the throne yet. The pretender's not there. Is the pretender moving over there? I bet he is. Let me have a look. It's been a while. Where is he? Where's the pretender? There he is. No, he's just getting bikini. In other fun tidbits, magic site searches, found some more slaves. What do we find? That's just a scout. And another scout. No biggie. So those guys were, yeah, they were scouting that throne. So they got to watch that fight, and that's kind of cool. Definitely for them. Wasn't my best work scripting that fight. It was okay, but the costs were a little on the high side. I could have done better if I'd maybe waited for some other magic or whatever. Other than that, we got some patrolling, some sneaking enemies. Again, just another scout, and the best thing probably of this whole turn is getting the golden naga, because they're holy 3, and that's really good. So I'm moving the golden naga over here to claim the throne. So overall, and we're bringing the Kokithiad, so we can search for death. That'll be useful. And then we'll probably, when we get an opportunity, this guy here, we might have one of these guys. Oh, they're moving over there. Yeah, the whole mess is moving onto the throne. So I think, frankly, kind of sums up turn 43. Now I can give you a little wee spoiler. We are just about to the end of the game. And I want to check down here for one little tidbit. Oh, here it is. Is this it? Okay, that's a little probe. It's a little probe by Utgard on this throne. So let's see what happens here. Actually, I don't think this is a probe, but it could be. Is he casting returning? Yes, she's casting returning. So this is a probe. So what we've got here is the Mind Lord, Shambler Thralls, and basic underwater chaff. The biggest concern is the Mind Lords. Stuffed with gems, can enslave mind, all kinds of fun and games. So we're going to see very, very soon the efforts of Utgard to snipe this throne and take it away from the other guys. Okay, I'm going to call that done for 43. We'll move on to 44. Here is turn 44. You can see Xibalba is helping me out, feeding me sanguine dowsing rods, because that's kind of handy to have him make them rather than me. Another brazen vessel and some bloodstone, or a bloodstone. We're grabbing, let's look at the research. So we shot for Conjuration 7. Now we're going for Alteration 7, so that's Fog Warriors, which we can do with the Kanara and a bit of a Communion. And then we finished up Enchantment level 6. So in Enchantment level 6, there's the Aerophant, which would have helped. Domes are not bad. So very balanced research. But this is peace, so we didn't have any desperate requirements. So I grabbed a few hill giants. See where I grabbed those. So the kind of trick with hill giants, and the reason I looked into them, is they're great big giant sacks of hit points. Now that could be useful if you need to consider you want to bait certain spells like Soul Slay, some other things like that. They are likely to target low magic resistance, high hit points. Now might be a way to sort of keep alive more important things. That's about the only reason to summon hill giants. They're not much good for anything else. I mean, they hit really hard and they do have Swallow, but trying to keep them alive, you're going to need all kinds of various buffs. And even with anti-magic up, they're still only going to have a magic resistance of 12. It's not very good. So let's look at the other actions. Another Dakini, of course. And then searching. Got some more searching going on. We should have the Kokithia. She's doing her search. Oh, I got her on research. I wonder why I did that. Would have been useful to have her search. That might have been a glitch. It's entirely possible. Hiltrans Dakini found another scout. And on the larger scheme, let's go have a look down here. There was no action on this throne. So that's what we're waiting on. That is definitely what we're waiting on. Alright, let's do up 45. And watch for the action here. Hang on a minute. Here we go. 45. Okay, so we'll start with an overview of turn 45. You can see Xibalba is still feeding me goodies. The Bacab has claimed the Throne of Death. So we're grabbing those last few thrones. Okay, important battle here in the Great Blue. And I'll leave that to the end. Not the end of this turn review, and we'll talk about that. A worldwide event has occurred. So, Throne of Death. So some units have aged. No big deal here. Battle in the Trackless Waste. We did some patrolling. We captured a few slaves. So blood economy is still nothing too stunningly good. You know, we've got 72 right now. We're turning them into Dakinis basically. And this is in anticipation of a long game. And we will see what happens here. So, down here, let's have a look and see what happens. I'm going to go straight to watching it because this is funky. This is quite funky. So what we have, the Abductor, which is a hero. Very excellent unit. Pretty good gear. Tossed on a Starshine Skullcap for magic resistance. Needed the Ring of Water Breathing. Went for regeneration. 2 weapons. More or less, regeneration and Soul Vortex, I'm expecting is the plan. Let's have a watch. Speed it up a little bit. Now, we also want to keep a real close eye on what this Mind Lord does. So it's going to put up anti-magic first. Okay, well that's not going to have a significant effect on things. And I've sped it up a little bit. So the Norna, okay. He's got the Norna Heart of Life. So huge amounts of reinvigoration. Yes sir, 13. So he's trying to do skeleton spam to go along with the Soul Vortex of the Abductor. Soul Vortex, Liquid Body. Let's see what other buffs puts up. Next in the buff stream, can't really tell. Let's zoom in a little bit. Got personal regeneration on the Norna. Mist form on the Abductor. I have a suspicion, though, the Norna is going to get trampled. Okay, now if we pop over to the Mind Lord, the Mind Lord buffed itself, put off some sharks, School of Sharks. Those are not going to have much effect on the Abductor, and the Shambler Tramplers are not going to affect the Abductor. The Norna, though, is vulnerable to trampling. So the Norna is holding its own so far. But only 10 hit points. Decent, moderate protection. Yeah, that's pretty moderate. And regeneration on 10 hit points doesn't do a heck of a lot. And there it gets a trample. And it's fatiguing out fairly heavily. What have we got happening here? Abductor's looking good. Okay, I see an ice shield. Lagash. Let's just confirm the name here. This is Lagash. So we'll kind of keep an eye on what's going on. Wave Warriors. That makes sense. Well, the Norna's holding out. The Norna's sure getting shoved around. I think that Norna is resisting the tramples. Can we see? Shambler trampled for 1 point. 2 points. 4 points. Ethereal negated the damage. Aha, there we go. Alright, but it's starting to dip a little. And the Abductor's holding out just fine. Now, I gotta be a little careful here. Because I happen to know that there's exciting things develop. Uh-oh. The Norna just took a heck of a beating. So it's just about out of this. Now, popping over here. We want to watch Wave Wars. Okay. Got to keep a close eye on this Mind Lord. Alright, that's the end of the Norna. But the Abductor is holding off just fine. I mean, hit points are going way up. That's the Soul Vortex. Fatigue is non-existent. Doesn't use its gems, so it's holding. Holding very nicely. Alright, let's pop out to the Mind Lord. What's the Mind Lord doing? Nothing at the moment. It's fatigued out. So it's got to sit there and the fatigue's got to lower. So I think what we want to keep our eyes peeled on. Okay, here's the Mind Lord again. Did an Earth Elemental, so now it's got to sit for a few rounds. Speed this up a little bit more. But I don't want to miss the critical event in this battle. Don't want to miss the critical event. So that's round 20. Iron Skin. Okay, let's keep an eye. And it's advancing. So the Mind Lord is advancing. Ooh. Alright. So the first squads, the Tritons are running. The militia are still holding out. There's really no threat to the Abductor from any of these units nearby it. The Mind Lord's moving. Ah! Here comes the Mind Lord. It's casting spells. Oh, penetration roll. Penetration roll. That's an enslaved mind or a soul slay. There's another one. Abductor resisted. Abductor resisted. Resisted again. Probably without giving out. You could probably tell what the spoiler is going to be. And look at that, it changed sides. The Abductor changed sides. Look at that. And way down at the bottom. Let's have a look here. Actually, it's easier to see it if we jump over to the Mind Lord. So look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It enslaved the Mind Lord. All the gear is gone. The hero's gone. It failed. Ooh, ow, 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 ow. So my teammate was not happy with this. He was not happy with this. I mean, of course, there's hindsight 2020, all kinds of, oh my God, how did we do this? How did we do this? So you've seen the details. It went to round 41. You know, he had the chance to maybe get these guys scared off, but their morale held. See, their morale held quite well. And of course, the Shamblers aren't going to run away. So, oh, what a bummer. So I'll leave you guys with this. That's the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of shenanigans. I'll pop out. So here we are. Actually, I should finish up with just the thrones. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8. We need 2 more, and it's game over. 2 more thrones for game over. We're close. We're close. We're very, very close. Have I claimed this one? No, siree, I haven't claimed it yet. So we're kind of sitting there waiting for that final claim. Of course, claiming the throne of death, you know, that's done. But the issue is, I have enough Holy Threes and options for claiming over here. Oh, and you'll notice we tossed up a fortification. So, Citadel of Power. Alright, am I done? Yes. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have questions, you want to talk about this battle, I'm willing to do even more analysis of the battle if somebody wants it. I mean, there wasn't a lot more you could do. I'll tell you, if you check out the statistic or the probabilities, that was a pretty unbelievable roll. Okay, have a great day, everybody.